The Bulldozer Matt Tremont, the 8-time Deathmatch Tournament winner, the former 2-time world champion, the owner of H2O Wrestling. And if there is one podcast to listen to, that is the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get ultraviolet, motherfuckers.
And good evening once again, fans. You're listening to the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. They're more than welcome to come on too anytime they want to come on.
Oh man, those girls pop good like it.
Alright. It's a budget thing. Let's see what he's up to.
Thank you, man, and thank you for giving me the time.
Tune in right now. And my guest at this time, fans, he's the Bareknuckle Berserker. He just came back from two trips over a couple weeks ago, and he's just getting back this week again from No Peace Underground, and also ICW's No Holds Barred in Newport Richey, Florida.
Yes, sir.
Like, what was it like to go back to the weather, just a change of the weather? You know what I mean?
Man, I got spoiled these last couple weekends being down there in that nice warm weather, and then having to get off the plane to snowy Cincinnati. So.
Dude, here I'm at the Jersey Shore. It's fucking just cold. We haven't had no snow
or
nothing.
Well, it's and like the snow we're getting is just like bullshit snow. It's not even like the good snow. It's just like the rainy, like slushy stuff.
Yeah. But the weather must have been nice though. I mean,
oh, dude, it was so nice down there, like t-shirt weather, and just having to come back to this is a nightmare.
No, but the first time you were out there for ICW's No Holds Barred, and down in Passaic County, right? The police, like the famous show was released there. I guess a police show or something. I don't know.
Yeah. What's that, like that live PD or whatever? Isn't that down there all the time? You got to think Florida's just crazy. Apparently, Florida just breeds crazy. All the Florida man headlines that you see floating all over the internet.
Yeah, man wanted for wrestling at a ICW event.
Man wanted for eating other man's face. Like that's just always the kind of stuff, and it's always Florida. You never hear about that from like Minnesota, man. It's always a Florida guy. So
or Jersey, we have a big, drug raids and this and that, and that sounds like any kind of place though you go, But my God, you were in a pawn shop. That was pretty much the fucking badass to go into a pawn shop, like a backyard of a pawn shop. That was fucking awesome,
man. It was cool because
is it actually a pawn shop in the
yes,
front?
It's in the front. It is a operating pawn shop. Yeah, and it was like you go back behind it, and like there's this like it almost looks like a movie set. So like in the daylight, because you can't really see it during the show at night, but there's like nice palm trees and stuff like right behind it, and like the way they had that like truck there and like the shipping container, everything, it almost looked like an Indiana Jones movie set or something. So
like an old movie setting, like an
action movie set. Yeah,
an action movie set, just like Cobra Kai. There you go.
Oh yeah, dude, like Cobra Kai. Yeah, dude, that show. I have never related to a character from a TV show more than I do Johnny Lawrence. Like
no shit, really. Like
he's starting to get older, starting to get like feel like he's out of touch with youth a little bit, but like still kind of like they still think he's cool, but like sort of not in touch with the current lingo and everything. Yeah, that's me to a T.
Yeah, teaching kids right. The right way. No.
Nothing to do with that.
Fuck no. But no, man. Yeah, that movie. I mean, when it first came out, my gosh, like the two, the movies that took off, like the
80s. Yeah,
like that was the real, like how they fought, and just, it was just the bulliness was really about the bulliness, being a bully and picking on kids.
But it's kind of crazy because if you really watch Cobra Kai, it's almost like it flip flops. It's almost sort of like Daniel sort of bullying Johnny because he hasn't really gone anywhere in his life, and Daniel's super successful. So like it's almost like the bully kind of flip flops, and you almost feel bad for Johnny and think that Daniel's kind of a dick. So.
Right.
He's kind of turned into like that rich, pretentious asshole who just thinks he's better than everybody. And like,
did I totally forgot going to Tokyo and that old guy that he had the match with.
from the Steckett movie, I think. Yeah, it was two.
Yeah, because that was also the ice days. You know, they were going to break the ice and they didn't. You know, like remember they were supposed to. I don't know if they did it. Did they or no? I don't even think they did in this series.
No, I don't think they did in the series. No,
because they were at the bar. The bars had the ice. I saw that.
yeah. That was they did a lot of cool little like callbacks to the original stuff. So
right.
Man, that scene. I don't know. I don't want to say anything too much if any of the viewers have never seen the show, so I don't want to say anything to ruin it.
Yeah,
there was a scene that, like, me being a wrestler and taking a lot of back bumps. There was that one scene where I was like, "Oh my god, that looked just so gnarly!" Like, ugh.
That which one? Which one was that?
The one that crippled the kid. That one.
Oh yeah, the balcony.
Oh yeah. That was like
that's like
and every time.
That's like every stunt, man. Yeah, like
every time they replay it, it just like hurts my soul.
I was gonna say not like nowadays. Forget it. Your days of wrestling, like now you're turning yourself, which is awesome. You're stepping. It's a different transition. Deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah, it is. Deathmatch is very different. Yeah, but It's been I think it's been kind of a smooth transition because I've done plenty of stuff in my wrestling career as far as like hardcore matches go. Like I've done a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but I've never done like tubes, glass or anything like that until kind of recently. So, I mean, really I've done barbed wire, I've done tacks, I've done doors, chairs, all that. So, I mean, I feel like it was a pretty smooth transition. It's just, it's different, but
it is.
I'm having fun, having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what? It's all about having fun and just not dying.
100%. Definitely don't want to do that. That's not on my bingo card for this year.
No, but you know what? You got some guys and you've been lined up with, and like you're looking at the talent and you're like, holy shit, these guys, they've gone places. John Wayne Murdoch, look at that. Mm-hmm. He's been there for how long? And he's done the same thing. He's gone in the back, from the backyard to the death match and just became a king and shit, He's and the rejects have been around forever, like they've been around.
Yep.
And or Invite and the newcomers or Invite and Alex Ocean have just Kira, like everybody, all you guys have you're coming, you're thirsty for it,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I had every intention of 2020 being my like breakout year. But the world had different plans for everybody. So, the world kind of got put on pause, but I didn't let that pause my hustle. This whole time I've been lifting weights. I've been studying tapes, and I've been trying to take all the work that I can during these tough times to stay, on top of my game and stay relevant. And now that, things are, certain places are opening back up and more places are trying to think outside the box and do closed set tapes and stuff. Like, I'm taking all the work I can. And I feel like now is my time to really, take off and blow up. My first death match at No Peace was against AJ Gray. Yeah. After that match,
AJ Gray is one tough son of a bitch.
He really is, man. He's the real deal. And
he was a guy who transitioned also. You look at that. Yeah. Like really, like he's stuck.
AJ's a jack of all trades. You know what I mean? He's a damn good wrestler. He's damn good at death matches. I mean, any situation you throw AJ in, he's going to prosper. And that's kind of how I want to be viewed in wrestling as well. I don't want to pigeonhole myself and just do death matches because I'm confident enough, in my abilities to where I can do whatever is thrown at me. And, and after mine and AJ's match, he went to Twitter and said that I'm up next. He said that, that it's my time, that I'm the next one up to really pop off on the indies. And to get that stamp of approval from someone like AJ, that was a really big deal to me. And that kind of like put me into a spot where I said, okay, this dude's going to put that out there. Like, I got to live it up now. Like, I gotta live up to that hype or I'm going to look like an idiot. And I definitely don't want to make him eat his words. So, that's on me now.
Yeah, I mean, you at the sound bar there. That sound bar is pretty cool setup too.
Dude, it's such a cool venue, man. Because I grew up in the punk rock and hardcore scene, so like I grew up in venues like that. I played music in venues like that. So like it's cool. I feel right at home.
Yeah, they had the stage, they had the ring, shit. They did it all. But first time around, it was just the no holds barred, just straight on the mat. straight on the fucking little punk rock floor, like the real brawl, just like fist to cuff, just keep on going.
Yeah, man.
It's just like Cobra Kai, free for all,
for sure.
But to see all the guys, you get to see who's, it's a challenge, and you guys are all, it's for the fun, like you said, it's for fun, and it's for name recognition. And really, it's just to show people what people know. Deathmatch wrestling, it's really about, and it's an art, and we all know that
100%.
And from learning from like the best in the world, looking back in Japan, Tokyo, and you look at the Mad Band Pondos, you look at the Matt Tremonts, you think of Danny Havocs and Masada. My gosh, what got you into looking into
So for me, death matches have always kind of been one of those things where it's always been something I've said that I'd be willing to try out, and that it's always been on the table for me. But I guess just kind of never really been given the opportunity to do it. So kind of how this all came about, Casanova Valentine and I did a Falls Count Anywhere match for Unsanctioned Pro. Went really well.
There's one tough son of a bitch as well.
And he's a great guy. I love that guy to death.
Yeah, it's a great bar too as well.
Yeah, but Cass and
I gotta go there one of these days.
Yeah, Cass and I had that Falls Count Anywhere, and he had actually booked me for his Mania weekend show, Murder Mania 2. And which obviously, Mania weekend ended up not happening, but because Cass had put enough faith in me to come down and do his show, No Peace had reached out to me to do their Mania weekend show. So I was booked on that as well. And, with everything that happened, like COVID and everything getting canceled, it obviously didn't happen. But No Peace had reached back out to me a few months after, and they said, man, we're really sorry about how things went down. That was obviously not our intention, but we still want to bring you down, and we still want to, we want to use you at some point. So I just said, cool. The line of communication's there. Just whenever you got a spot for me, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to do it. So they reached out and asked if I was available for their December date, and told me that, it'd be me and AJ. So I was like, I'm game, put me on, I'll get there. So I came down, I did the thing with AJ, and, before AJ and I went through the curtain, he gave me a hug and he looked at me and he said, it's time to make a name for yourself. Let's go out and do it. So, I love that dude to death, and I really appreciate him putting his trust in me. Cause when with this deathmatch stuff, man, you got to have a lot of trust in your opponent. But AJ put his trust in me, and I think that match really helped elevate me and to show people that I can do death matches, and that I'm, like I said, I want to be that Swiss Army knife. I want to be able to thrive in any type of match situation that I get thrown into.
Look who you wrestled just recently. My gosh, Arrow Boy and John Murdoch.
John Wayne Murdoch, Neil Diamond Cutter, who is also, Neil's been doing death matches for years, and he's really damn good. So it's super cool. And Arrow Boy is a guy who I've shared several locker rooms with. He was been to Rockstar Pro in Dayton several times, and he's been on Unsanctioned, and he's a guy who I've admired his work for a long time, and I've always said that I would love to have a go with him. So it was nice to be able to get that opportunity. And
but then Mr. AJ came into the mix.
He did, but and like I said, I'm just a guy that likes to fight. So whoever throws themselves at me, I'm gonna throw it right back.
Yeah, and and my God, you guys went at it. That was great. That was a great match. I was watching at home. Everybody was watching it. And I'm sure you're like, holy your friends are watching it, and like, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
How many texts did you get right after that?
A lot. And and the funny thing about the other night. So when I was down there this last weekend, during mine and Arrow Boy and AJ's match, my phone went missing that night for like 2 hours. Before the show started, I misplaced it and I could not find it. and I was bugging out because like my boarding passes were on there, like you know how it is. Your whole life's on your phone, and I was just freaking out, and it was missing for like 2 hours. So I ended up finding it like a while after our match was over, and it was, battery had died. So I threw it on the charger, but as soon as it turned on, it was just bam. Twitter, Instagram, text. I mean, it was just so much positive feedback, and like, my friends telling me that I did a great job. And the thing that I really, that makes me feel good is when I have other wrestlers message me, and like, especially wrestlers who I, have a lot of respect for and look up to, when they message me and say, dude, you did a damn good job. Like, keep up the good work. That kind of stuff motivates me. One of my good friends, Zachary Wentz, who's now Nash Carter at NXT. He messaged me, after my ICW match last week, and just told me, he's like, you went out there and you shined. And he was like, I love that. You're starting to get these opportunities. I love Zach to death. When I first started coming up to Rockstar.
I'll tell you what, man, he's came a long way, man, from his days of wrestling to being where he is today. Him and everybody, just look at them. They've changed. Yeah. It's amazing where these teams quit on the indie scenes to go and be. Yeah, they want to be spotlighted on the main stage. Some people do and some people don't. But you found your realm. You're like, you're gonna deathmatch wrestling is like it's a whole new genre. It's a whole
new world, man.
It really is.
And it opens up a lot of new possibilities as far as opponents and things like that too, because there's a lot of guys who are deathmatch guys who I really respect and who I really admire their work. And now that opens the door to, potential matches with them. So, I really like guys like G Raver. I think he's a great dude. Alex Cologne. I've had the pleasure of wrestling Alex a couple times at Rockstar, and he's so good. I mean, he's one of those guys, like I said, with AJ's a Swiss Army knife. You could throw that guy in any kind of match and he's going to shine. And
Shane Mercer, there's another.
See, that's a dude who I've known Mercer for a couple years, and we've been on so many shows together. We've been on so many car rides together, but we've never wrestled. And Mercer is one of those guys who I really want to have a match with. I think him and I would put together something real nice. And so who's gonna book it? Who's gonna book me and Mercer this year? I want it to happen. I want it to happen.
21 game.
I've already called it. It's my year. So
it is like you said.
And it's off to a damn good start. I'm not even a month in. I've already, had a couple good matches under my belt. I debuted for ICW.
I know, and you heard your please come back chance, and that's what
that to me was like.
That's what it's all about. It's the respect. I wish I could be at Florida, but but you're probably gonna be coming around my areas sometime, and
I will be. I can promise you, I'll be there for something. I don't know what yet, but I'll be up there for something.
Yep. Yeah, times are changing, but to get the pop of the, it's like you wrestle in a wrestling match, and you get that pop,
Yeah.
The rush is there, and to see the fans' reaction to you, you're probably like, you know what? They respect me for what I am. I'm a new guy coming into the game, and you know what? It's time to go round 3, round 4, round 5. Yes,
sir. And like you said a second ago, that please come back chant at ICW, that made me feel on top of the world, because that tells me that those people that were there in attendance, they dug what I did. They want to see me back. And that's what's most important, man. Like, you know what I mean? We can, all the Twitter, likes, all the follows, like all that, that's all great. But there's nothing more rewarding than hearing that live crowd that you just, put it all out there for, to, be so into what you did that they start chanting to please come back. That dude, that's just, there's something so humbling and just cool about that like I can't even put to words.
No. I mean, that's the respect, that's the respect of the fans.
Oh yeah. That's like, to me, that's the ultimate show of respect, and like, And like I said, man, there's just no cooler feeling in the world than that. Like sometimes I kind of feel like I deal with imposter syndrome a little bit. Like sometimes I feel like, why am I here? Like I'm just some dude. Like, what am I doing here? Like, why are these people into what I'm doing? Why do they care? But then but moments like that just kind of reassure me that I'm doing the right thing and that, that I'm on the right path.
Yeah. Now getting back to like your wrestling, what was your last match before the pandemic and shit?
Oh God, dude, that feels like it was so long ago.
I know. Probably like it's been months.
But I mean, I've done some things here and there throughout the pandemic, and so I mean, like I did a ladder match at Paulcade. I've done some stuff for Paradigm. I've done like
Paradigm is kicking ass. They are pretty good. Man.
Yes, they're doing something so cool with the UWFI rule stuff because it's I think that's a genre of wrestling that kind of was forgotten for a while, and they're bringing it back and making it relevant again. And I think that there was a real want to see that type of wrestling in today's world, that shoot style, and that's a style that I feel right at home with, because a lot of I just go out and I fight people. You know what I mean? There ain't a whole lot of prettiness to what I do. It's it's down and dirty. It's gritty. It's a fight. So
I get to you. I would love to. Maybe he's probably watching. You probably would love to face Dominic Greeny.
I've done a tag. I've done a tag against Dominic once. Yeah, me and the baddest man alive, Aaron Williams. We tagged against Violence is Forever.
Good old Aaron Williams, man.
Yeah, we tagged against Violence is Forever at one of the unsanctioned shows. It was actually supposed to be Aaron and Alex as the Night Riders, but Alex got hurt in Japan and couldn't do it. So I filled in for Alex, and me and Aaron went out and did the thing. So
wow.
But yeah, I would love to have a singles with Guarini. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, and probably Nolan Edwards. There's another guy.
See, that's another guy who I like a lot, and I've never had the pleasure of sharing the ring with. He we were supposed to, and I think it's still going to happen. Unsanctioned had booked. It was me, Nolan, Big Beef, and Aaron Williams in a 4-way, and the show couldn't happen because of COVID, restrictions, but he still plans on running that card when he's able to. So I'm looking forward to that.
But you never know. Things.
You never know.
You never know. I mean, you look at all these new names, and you're seeing this like these Alexes and these Kyle, and you're seeing all these guys that've been like shoot fighters, like like MMA guys almost. A lot of these new names coming to the scene.
Are you talking about like Justin Kyle?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm wrestling Justin Kyle at the end of February, and that's another guy who I've never stepped into the ring with before, and I think that'll be really fun. We're doing a street fight at AWR out there in Indianapolis, so nice. That'll be I believe that'll be on IWTV, so you guys will be able to check all that out.
Look at that. You'll be back on this, but not with the ropes. What was it like going against those chains, man? How'd that make you, dude? What was that feeling? I was there for the first ICW in New York City, or in Jersey, for the Jersey City show with Nick Gage.
Okay, yeah, dude. The chains are different. It's it kind of it adds a different dynamic to the match itself, and I actually thought it was kind of cool. So I think
it was bringing the old no holds barred back, like
exactly, yeah, and it had a had a really cool feel to it, and I think it really kind of differentiates them and sets a different kind of vibe for the whole event itself. So
getting whipped into a chain rope instead of a normal corded rope.
Yeah, there ain't any bounce back on those bad boys.
No, there isn't. How'd you like the announcer, Larry Legend?
Oh, Larry Legend's great.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah,
I've worked with Larry before, but it had been a long time, and that was before the show. Larry came up to me and he said, "Man, I'm really excited to announce you. I feel like it's been forever." Because I think it was the last time was actually for the Blackcraft stuff a couple years ago. I think that was the last time.
Yes. Yeah, when Blackcraft Wrestling was really launching their stuff, and man, I missed that company. That was
yeah, man, it was fun when it lasted. I was on all their shows. It was fun while it lasted, but
Yeah. Yeah, I know my friend Bill was a part of that. Yep.
Yeah, Bill Molnar.
Mhm.
Yeah, good dude, man.
Virginia.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
From VOW. Oh man, I missed that's one promotion that really had a death match.
Yeah. See, like I never did anything with them, but like I got to meet Bill through Blackcraft, and I liked him a lot. He's a really nice dude.
That was like a company that brought in guys like Colt 45. Shout out to him, man. I miss him already, and of course Adam Bueller as well.
Oh man, yeah, that was such a sad situation, dude. Bueller, man, rest in peace.
So many guys. I know Danny Havoc is also. It's like, it's tough, man. It's tough in the scene.
Yeah, I never met Danny Havoc, but I had got to be around Bueller a little bit. He did some commentary for Unsanctioned on a couple of my matches, and one night it was me, Bueller, and Shane Mercer went and got Waffle House after a Unsanctioned show, and just got to sit and chop it up with him and laugh and tell some stories. And it's a shame that I didn't get to spend more time with him because I thought he was a really good dude. And
dude, he got the hugest pop when he came to New Jersey for a local show that he did for us. I have it on tape. I'll send you the video. It's awesome.
You should, yeah. I'll definitely check that out.
It was a hardcore. Actually, it was a hardcore match with Jimmy Lyon, Chondo Lyon, from H2O. From H2O.
Okay.
My friend Scotty was on commentary, and it was just a great night. Like he just made the crowd feel like he was a part of. Yeah.
Like I said, man, Bueller was a good dude, and he's one of those people who left this world too soon, and it's unfortunate. Yeah.
But man, we're missing so many people in the world these days. It's insane. In the wrestling world. I know. Look what the guy. Yep, like we said, no holds barred. That guy died. It's like everybody we know. Who's next, man? Who's next? But
hopefully nobody anytime soon, man. We've had enough losses in this last year. So
and I'm praying that Foley gets over his COVID, dude.
Yeah.
That's because he missed Christmas. That sucked for him.
Yeah, I'm sure that did suck for him. He's a big Christmas guy, from what I've heard and seen online and stuff. He seems like he's really into Christmas.
Now there's a guy, you look back at, you look people like that you look up to, like.
Oh yeah. So of course, I've always been a fan of wrestling long before I was ever a part of it. I've been a fan of wrestling since as long as I can remember. I mean, there's pictures of me from probably when I was 3-4 years old, playing with my figures, and when I was a kid, I had a Sting punching bag and stuff. So there's pictures of me with that far back being into wrestling. And before I started training, when I was still just a fan, I had the pleasure of meeting Mick Foley, and he was such a nice guy. He was doing one of his stand-up comedy tours, and I went and got a chance to, talk to him for a couple minutes. And it was funny. He took a look at my beard, and he said that he looked like I could have been his estranged nephew or something. And he's just, I actually dressed up as Mick Foley for Halloween this year because I needed to throw something together real quick.
That's awesome. I know. I got the opportunity one time at a meeting actually in Pennsylvania. There was it was called Wrestle Reunion 2, and he was there. It was a wrestling show, of course, too. And I got to go on the mic with Bill Apter, Bill Apter, the Pro Wrestling One guy, and there was doing a Q&A session. So I got up on the mic. I was like, all right, what do I say to this guy? Like, I don't know anything. I'm a fan. Hey, Mick, what was it like falling off the cage versus Undertaker? And he was scared. So he really laid into that story from WrestleMania.
That's pretty cool.
But then after that, me and my dad are going home. We're on the Parkway, and here he is having a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like that's one of the cool things about wrestling is, the opportunity to work with some guys who, like I grew up watching, and it's so cool to
see him. And I think Bobby Heenan was there with his throat. Oh, it looked horrible though. I wish I got. I met so many guys, man. It's
like just at this that No Peace last weekend. I did a thing with Bill Alfonso. So like that to me was like, what the hell? Like I remember Fonzie from ECW, man. Like, and that just to me, it's like that's one of the cool things about wrestling is like getting an opportunity to work with people who I looked up to when I was younger, watched on TV, and then like it's we're we're like we're like equals now. You know what I mean? It's like you get to have like cool conversations with these guys who you looked up to and like, swap stories and just, chop it up. And it's just like, there's that part of you on the inside where you're like, holy shit, I'm sitting here just like chopping it up with Bill Alfonso or, when I got to, share locker rooms with guys like Gangrel and, the Monster Abyss had a hand in he had a hand in training me. So I've got to know him really well over the years. Wildcat Chris Harris is a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And like, just guys who I watched on TV are now my friends. It's just crazy to me.
And just to think, man, they used to be on the indies way before us, like to watch as a fan, like as a fan of wrestling. I'd actually go to local shows and they would be on a card. Like these companies would just come in.
Yeah.
It was like NWA Cyberspace was run by Vince Russo.
Okay.
And like the wild card, Chris Harris, Abyss, and Eli, just everybody from the Impact. It was like, holy shit, these guys are coming into town.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, actually, it's really funny that we mentioned Wildcat because I went and he lives really close to me because, like I said, him and I were in a stable together for years here in Cincinnati. And I was at the gym before I did this podcast. And as I was heading out of the gym, Kat and his wife were on the way in. So I sat there and was chopping it up with him for a few minutes. But I looked at the time. I'm like, dude, I got to go get ready for this podcast. Like, love you, but I got shit to do.
Business.
Yeah, I got shit to do.
Got business to do now. I'm not in the wrestling ring now. Sorry. No, people. It's so cool to see how they're doing, and it's like people like that have been around. Like,
And it's super cool to have guys like that around who I can, ask for, I can turn to for advice. And, it's like, Kat's been like my mentor through this whole situation because, he's been able to teach me things, of the do's and don't do's, like he has admitted to me of things that he could have done better and he, mistakes that he made that he's told me not to make, so. And I love having a guy like him in my corner. He's a great guy. And, we've gotten really close. I mean, he knows my family and stuff. Like he knows my parents, and, he's just, I think the world of that guy. And, I can't thank him enough for the help that he's given me.
Yeah. It's, and speaking of like ECW, I always tell people, one of my coworkers actually married into a Bigelow.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that wild? Like
that is pretty wild. How sometimes just stuff happens that way, like the degrees of separation and stuff.
Exactly. And he lives like across the other side of the lake from me, but I don't even bother saying hello. I'll text him or shoot him something up. Make a picture of his father, or show him something about his dad. But I'm really good friends with the Candido family. That's okay. Actually just relaunched. I should be having him pretty soon on the podcast. One of our guys, I think, John Cosper, a local book guy. I'm sure you heard that name, Cosper. He did Man Pondo's book. Okay. He's done Dr. D. David Schultz's book. Holy shit! There's so many guys he's been doing books for. It's crazy. But yeah, that book's getting released, and I can't wait to, catch up with his brother, Johnny.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, this whole
ECW, like ECW. Say later, here we go talking ECW. See, I grew up. Like the era of ECW was,
that was right in your backyard too, right? Like you're probably pretty close to Philly
and Asbury Park. I wish I was there. I wish I was there for the original stuff.
Yeah. Like I said,
I came up in the era with the PW. It was called Pro Wrestling Unplugged, and then Ring of Honor. And like CZW, that's how I got. That's how I kind of got to be lucky. I remember the one show in Pennsylvania, or actually at the arena. It was a Pro Wrestling Unplugged show, and actually Necro Butcher and Samoa Joe were going at it, I believe. And
was that the legendary match of theirs was in the arena, right?
Yeah, or Corporal Robinson versus Necro. There's two. Okay. Because they had the jellyhead spot. But I remember going over to the arena, and then after that was I guess the same night was Ring of Honor's 100th year anniversary show for the Combat zone, CZW versus Ring of Honor. The war was going on. Remember? Like,
oh, it was CZW and ROH. That would have been what, probably like maybe early 2000s.
Yeah,
or maybe like
yeah. When Zandig was around still. Yeah.
Crazy, it's been a
like,
little bit of time ago, but not too long ago. Maybe like 2009, 2010, somewhere in that realm, maybe.
But I was a fan of Ring of Honor at the time, But the night they had that show, I was like, oh man, tickets sold out. Okay, so I go on the bleachers on the CZW side. Okay, guess who I'm hanging out behind? Chris Hero and Claudio and fucking. Super Dragon.
There was that was at a really good time for ROH, and I think there's a lot of really cool stuff going on right now with Ring of Honor. Like Dave,
look who's Tony Deppen. Shout out to that guy.
Oh yeah, dude, Deppen, Danhausen,
crazy Danhausen. Yes,
I love Danhausen.
He's a great character. I'm always helping him. I always put pictures up on his Twitter there, like faces and different things to mess with him.
Yeah, he's funny, man. I like that guy. Mm-hmm. Or that demon, whatever the hell he is. But, but yeah, man. ROH has some really cool stuff going on right now with the Pure title and all that. I think that's all real cool, and
they're in a bubble right now.
Yeah, they're staying relevant. They have to.
Cheeseburger, shout out to Cheeseburger for that stuff, man. Like he's really on a dojo with them. He's the one that really puts them. It's because of him, dojo's still going strong, which is awesome. In Pennsylvania there.
Is it in it's in Baltimore now, right? I think they moved it. I think the ROH dojo's based in Baltimore now.
Is it? Oh yeah.
I believe so, yeah. I believe they moved 2 years ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought it was in Pennsylvania. I could be wrong. Who knows? Times have changed, right?
Times are always a changing, especially in pro wrestling. Everything. It's everything changes, evolves, and
you look at. I know you want to see what's on next week and what's going on, and see. I used to be huge on WWF, but then WWE, and I switched off. I just switched off to the other product, AEW and Impact Wrestling, and and Impact was really Impact. I miss the older days. Like we always talk about how. The
X division
was just AJ and just the way
AJ and Christopher Daniels and
how it really progressed over the years. And then now it's now it's combining companies. Yeah,
it's so crazy now because I've got friends at AEW, I've got friends at I've got friends at Ring of Honor, Impact, and now I've got, friends that are starting to get picked up by WWE with, Dez and Zach and Alex Zane. And it's just so cool to that's what really keeps me.
Look at Alex Zane, man.
I know, dude. It's crazy. I'm so happy for that guy, man. It's just, we were doing shows in small indie shows in Kentucky. And then the next thing the dude's everywhere. And it's just all it takes is that one moment to just blow up, and he's a perfect example of that. He's a perfect example of that.
And people like Marco Stunt too. My God, that kid came a long way. If you look back and you watch his career and how he got over the guardrail of a GCW show and just got thrown in the ring with the Beast KTB. Now I could see a match with you versus that guy. Ooh.
I think it was supposed to happen at one point in time, but COVID kind of, put a rein on that. But I would love to see that happen in the future. I think, like I said, I think that'd be a real fun one. Another guy who I think's really damn good, and that's what gets me hyped about wrestling is when I get booked in matches against people who I admire their work and I really like what they do. That makes me excited for the matches because I'm like, all right, cool. I admire this guy's work. And I don't want to shit on that. I don't want to make him look bad. So I got to really bring my A game, So I believe me and KTB was supposed to happen, but COVID, like I said, who love to see it happen down the line, but we'll see.
There's so many guys that like we say, but now it's a it's a different avenue, and
Yeah.
It's just every time you go around the corner now, you don't know what you're doing, wrestling show or not.
Really. I
Yeah.
mean, it seems that, because there's nothing is certain right now. Nothing is certain. Everything is kind of on a contingency plan. If some, you gotta be, you hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah, and you're ready for the worst. You're ready for the good. I mean, for the good, man. Because
I'm for sure ready for some positivity to happen in this world for everybody. Like this last year has been hard on everybody for various reasons, and I'm really really ready for some positivity in this world and just things to start looking up for people and people just being able to go back to doing the stuff they love and being consistent. And not having to worry about getting sick or getting others sick. It's just,
dude, I'm tired of being home. I would go to a show, but I work all day and come home at 12:30 and
man, it's wild out there, man. It really is, and it just just got to keep.
But wrestling in a couple more weeks. My gosh, have you seen that list of there's that? It's called Fight Forever. My gosh.
Yeah, the GCW Fight Forever. There's
shout out to everybody in participating as well as Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast is a part of the Jimmy Lloyd special. Holy shit, midnight. Everybody, we put it's all for it's going to be a great cause.
I saw No Peace has an hour-long block on it, and
BLK, all these promotions, you probably wow, I've been there here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll make it. I'll go ahead and say it. I've got my sight set on GCW. That's somewhere that I want to see myself in the very near future. I going into 2021, and I had set a couple goals for myself of places that I would like to at least get a shot. And I put out a tweet. I think it was New Year's Day. I put out ICW, GCW, ROH, and Impact. And not even a month in, I've already got one knocked off. So I feel like
I know ICW. When you saw that I saw that tweet. Wait a minute, I know this guy. We were supposed to have a podcast way back in 2019 or something. We never connected back. Right. It's and I knew who it was. I'm like, hey, this he deserves it. He's thirsty. He's one of the new guys that wants to show who he is.
Oh yeah. And once I put that tweet out, ICW replied and said that they, respected my enthusiasm and that they would make it happen in 2021. And I mean, the stars, the planets aligned, things. Unfortunately, Lindsay Snow got hurt because she was originally scheduled to wrestle Alex Ocean. Unfortunately, she was unable to compete. I wish her a speedy recovery because
shout out to her. She's a tough son of
shout out to her. She's one of my favorites to watch right now because she's incredible. She's an incredible talent. She's presenting something different, I think, and she gives off that Luna Vachon vibe, and I love it. I really like what she does, and
I could see. I would love for ICW to No Peace maybe to think about getting more women's matches involved. That would be more. Yeah. That'd be you know what I mean, to switch instead of a guy versus the intergen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for that. And like I said,
but
I wish. While we're on the subject of Lindsay, though, I wish her a speedy recovery. I hate the circumstances on which I made my ICW debut. I'm thankful for it, but I hope you the best in your recovery. And
how'd you like to face Effie?
Ooh. Oh, I've said that 100 times. I think Effie's a great dude, and
Ziggy, I think, of course, Ziggy. Ziggy. Oh God, these guys are just
Ziggy dice. Not Ziggy's one of my best. Ziggy's one of my best friends in the entire world. I talk to that guy every single day. And him and I met at the New Japan dojo. We went out and did a training session out there and kind of a little tryout thing. And him and I just became fast friends. We have similar backgrounds. We both played music and we know some of the same people and we immediately became friends. And
He's definitely his production. My God, he's pretty awesome, dude.
He's doing so much good shit right now, man.
On his Twitch channel, it's grown from like, gosh.
Yeah, and he
puts Ethan to shame.
No, but dude, that's my homie. True, tried and true. Yeah. He's been one of my close friends for a couple years now. Like I said, I talk to that dude every single day.
I got to reach out to him. I need to get him on here.
I went to his bachelor party. I know his wife. And that's my dude. I would do anything in the world for that fool.
Well, if you get a hold of him, or I'll tweet him out again. Let him know you come on my podcast. Get his ass on my podcast. Have fun.
Good luck. He's motivated. He's a motivated son of a bitch, but it's just getting him to slow down from his own projects.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's so many projects.
That's the hard thing. He's got his hands in so many cookie jars. It's hard for him to slow down to do anything.
Yeah, he probably has a producer. He probably has somebody on his side. Booker. He probably has one of those guys that are there. I know that Sledge from Ring of Honor did. There's a tough dude. Sledge was badass, dude. Shout out to him. Yeah. So many cool dudes.
He's doing the thing over on Twitch too, I think, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think Sledge
coffee
has
shop. Coffee shop. Coffee
with
Sledge. Coffee with Sledge. Brought Ziggy out one time. He knows everybody. It's insane. It's just the world of wrestling, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds for old Ziggy. I think he's got some good stuff on the horizon. So, I'm excited to see where his hard work takes him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember I was on, actually, if you go back, when he was having his match with Jimmy, I actually put a picture of the bubbles
the bubble wrap.
Colliding, like the bubble balls you would just run in the yard.
Yeah.
You loved it. Yeah. I mean, he's a character.
Man. He is a character.
That was a great gimmick, though. You get out the ring, strapped up in bubble wrap. You're like, what the fuck's going on? This guy's nuts, losing his mind.
Yeah, because Ziggy's not a deathmatch guy. You know what I mean? And he's just I guess that was his way of saying you ain't pulling that bullshit on me. Like,
yeah, it's like a Rottweiler, right? Your protective cop suit, right?
Oh, yeah, when they do the canine training for the dogs, they wear those big suits. Maybe you should invest in one of those.
There you go, Ziggy. So listen to us.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, Nikki, if you're watching, I got you something.
Oh, little souvenir. But getting back to like wrestling, man, like just talking wrestling, like it's grown since we were kids, and now it's a new era of new generation. And you know what? These kids, there's a lot of bright future for a lot of these kids.
There is, man. And that's the thing. I didn't start training to wrestle until I was in my mid-20s, and I'm now 32 years old. And
32.
I'm 32, bro. Yeah,
dude, I'm 43, going on 44 soon.
Yeah, dude. Well, me being in my 30s, right. And I'm seeing some of these young guys come into wrestling, and they're only 19, 20 years old, and they're just so athletically gifted, and like
the Jordan Olivers. Yes, the
Jordan Olivers. I mean, the Trey Lamars, Myron Reed, guys like that are just so young and just already so ridiculously talented. And
Tankman. Don't forget about
Tankman. Oh, yeah. Tankman. Hey, don't sleep on Calvin Tankman. That dude's so athletic for his size. And that's the thing I'm getting at. Some of these guys are just so freakishly athletic and talented at such a young age. And it's just like, I just don't see a ceiling for these guys.
Juicy. This guy new Juicy that's on the scene now.
Oh yeah, he's the dude's been doing some stuff at GCW.
Fatu, whatever his name is. Yeah, Fatu. That's making a name for themselves. It's gotta be.
That's all. That's all we can do. That I think that's everybody's common goal in wrestling is to go out and make a name for yourself, because ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. You know what I mean? You gotta. You can have all the connections in the world, but if you don't put some work in, it ain't gonna get you anywhere. So wrestling's a grind. And
so what was it like to go on a ring and use some doors this week, huh? Like, you loved using the doors. Hurt, I know that after a while it's like, oh yeah,
you know, man, it's just all part of it. You know, we know what we signed up for, and you know, we know what we're getting ourselves into. So
did you have a nice gash when you looked?
I had a little bleeder from that barbed wire door for sure. I didn't realize the one spot was bleeding as bad as it was, and I put this shirt on after the match, and I like went out to eat afterwards, and I'm like, why does my back feel wet? And then I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, so I have this big blood stain on one of my t-shirts now.
I know. I'm ready to go on the airplane. I'm all bandaged up. You know.
Oh man, my match after AJ, that was a hell of a rough flight home because I think I had a really deep bruise in one of my quad or in my hamstring.
Yeah,
and from the bottom of my ass to the back of my knee for like 3 weeks was just purple and black. It was bad. I thought I tore it, but it ended up not being anything real serious, luckily.
Good.
Yeah. But I mean, I was feeling rough there for a little bit.
Yeah, and then the weeks before that, you're just the same way, you know. Hey, you just get back into it.
Yeah, dude, I don't even want to imagine some of the injuries that I've had that I never went and got looked at just because I don't want to take, you know, and that's maybe stupid on my part. But I do it. I've done it. I had a hurt shoulder for a little while that I muscled through. I'm pretty sure I muscled through a broken tailbone, which that was miserable. That was, you know, you never realize how bad it can be until you break your ass.
Yeah, it's like going.
And then you break your ass and like
it's like going.
You have to make an entire because like you know when it happens 2 hours from your house and you have to drive home still and you can't sit down. So like I got in the car, I set my cruise control. And I like stood off of my seat the whole drive home. So I'm like driving with my ass up.
Yeah, I need an ass pillow or one of those fucking ass.
Dude, I had to get a neck pillow with like so I could sit around it. Oh, dude, I had to use a cane to walk up and down steps the next day after I broke my ass. Like it was that bad.
Yeah, coming on. Yeah, right after the show, you know, you get on the plane, you're like, "Oh man, I'm fucking hurting. I have to go." Yeah, I'm glad I'm going home. I'm going to my own bed and just zonking the hell out.
Oh, dude, that was me all day yesterday. When I got off my plane yesterday, I went home, dude.
What time was your flight? What time was your flight?
My flight home yesterday, I flew out at 11, got home at about 1, and then I came home. I let my dog out to take a piss, and then I was like, all right, boy, it's nap time. So, like,
yeah, leave me alone.
Dude, it was just, I threw some football on, laid down, and just, that was it.
And you probably rewatched your match. You're like, holy shit. Like,
I'm going to once it's up. The No Peace show isn't up yet.
The other one was up. Yeah, the other one's up already. You know,
ICW. ICW and No Peace from last week's up, but the newest No Peace isn't up yet. I'm really excited to rewatch the me, AJ, and Arrow Boy though. Like I'm gonna definitely rewatch that one, and I'm gonna rewatch some of the matches from that card that I didn't get to really pay attention to there in the moment. So there's a couple that I really want to watch.
You should steal it off there and cut it for clips. You know, I'm sure you will.
I watched the beginning of Jamie Senegal and Devin Monroe, and
Jamie is one hell of a wrestler. No matter what you look at, you know.
Oh yeah, Jamie's damn good.
Yeah,
I watched Jamie and Devin's match, or just like the beginning, because I was busy trying to find my lost phone and getting myself in the right headspace for my match, and just saw that strike trade in the beginning. Those two were beating the shit out of each other, and I was like hell yeah, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those are two other talents that I would love to have matches with sometime down the road. Like, I just saw that Devin's only got like 100 matches under his belt, and that's not, in the grand scheme of things, that ain't a whole lot. I mean, the talent is just unreal for only 100 matches. So,
yeah, for that kind of a show.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be back.
Oh yeah,
they heard the chance.
Oh yeah.
You're coming back, so it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, I'll be back. I ain't going nowhere. This is just the beginning. So
Yeah. Yeah, this is like part 1 of Cobra Kai.
oh yeah, this is just season 1, or well, we'll say season 2 because
Right.
season 1 was everything that led up to right now, but right now is where it's going to start getting real good.
Yeah, I know. I was up to the part where I said the dojo, they signed the paper. They didn't sign any papers, but going back, I'm almost done. I'm telling my dad to watch after this.
Dude, I recommend everybody watch Cobra Kai. That shit's so good. Like, it's hard for me to really get into a show. Like I sometimes or keep up with it. Like I'll watch it, and if I don't just bust through it,
what's the latest like movies you caught up on? I haven't watched. Like, what's your niche right now? Like, what do you?
I was big. I watched all of the Mandalorian. I was pretty into that. That was good. The storytelling in Mando was fantastic. And then, dude, I just kind of watch like I like documentary and like true crime stuff. So like I watched Netflix has a mini series out right now about the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. So I watched that.
Good. Now I have good stuff that I want to start. I hardly watch TV anymore, man.
I watched like on my flight the other day, I watched a couple episodes of like World's Toughest Prisons and just like, I don't know. I like watching documentary stuff and like
the weird shit.
Weirdly, I like learning shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like watching something where I could take something away from it that I might not have known before. Like, I watched some of these like serial killer documentaries and like I learned new things about the cases and I think that like that type of stuff is so fascinating to me in the sense that the human mind can get that fucked up. You know what I mean? Like that, right. Because if I try to wrap my head around some of the things that these people do, like never in a million years, but like this, it's so interesting to me that the human mind is capable of such just horrible shit. And like, I don't know, man. It's just there's something just very interesting about it. Like
I love a good horror movie.
I love horror movies. Yeah, that's Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is actually my favorite horror movie of all time.
Yeah, my friend I was just cracking up. He's showing his girlfriend for the first time Friday the 13th. Like he's doing it all on Facebook, like showing episodes, and
it's just it's so crazy. It's crazy to me when I find out people like in their 20s and 30s haven't seen certain movies. Like there's when someone tells me they've never seen Wayne's World, I'm like, how do you exist? Like if you've never seen Wayne's World, like come on. Or just
have you ever seen an Amityville Horror? Come on, like.
Yeah, there's just some movies. There's just some movies that you should be required to have watched to just exist as a human being. Like, there's
and bucket places to go. Like, I still want to go to Camp Crystal Lake, like just to do that tour. I want to do that. My friends have gotten married. I think.
Isn't that in Jersey?
Yeah, that's somewhere.
I drove past it. Really? I drove past it going through Jersey, and I was like, wait a minute. That's kind of cool. Yeah, like that's kind of sweet.
Let me go to this diner right across from the cemetery. You should have done that.
It was kind of like a time constraint. We were just passing through, but I'm like, oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, but, I need bucket list. Things like that.
You want to hear a fun story about New Jersey? So I'm actually from Kentucky, born and raised. I live right across the river from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I always just tell people I'm from Cincinnati, but I actually live in Kentucky. So I drove out I was in Philadelphia, but my hotel was in Jersey. So I got up, I drove, or I had to go back into Philly, but I needed gas real bad. So I pulled into a gas station in Jersey. I get out, I swipe my card, and blah, blah, blah. Well, some guy walks up to me and he's just giving me this god awful, like dirty look. And I'm like, can I help you? And he looks and he's like, can I help you? And I'm just like super confused about like why this guy's even approaching me. And like, so I'm like, nah, man, I'm cool. I'm just getting gas. So then he looks at my license plate and he goes, you're not from around here, I see. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, it's illegal to pump your own gas in the state of New Jersey. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
dude, that just blew my mind because like I've done that my whole, entire driving existence. And then like I just had some random guy walk up to me, like looking at me all pissed off. And I'm like, what's your deal, dude? And then I was the idiot. So
Wow. Yeah. Trips like that, man.
I learned a lesson that day. Don't pump your own gas in New Jersey.
No, not at a Sheets or no Wawa, right? Get from the Wawa or Dothead Deli, Dothead gas stations.
I've never even heard of Dothead.
The Exxon's run by Dotheads or whatever.
I've never even heard of that. I definitely definitely a Wawa guy though. If I'm in the area,
yeah, that's a Wawa quick check, whatever.
Sheets and Wawa or what's up?
I know. The battle with Wawa and Sheets, though, that's always been a thing.
Yeah,
because they have the pizza, I guess, and they have more shit. I don't know. It's weird. Favorite places to go on a trip, like when you would actually probably. I bet you there was some good food in Newport Richie. I bet you there was some great food that you.
I actually didn't really get much of a chance to really explore the local cuisine, but that is one of my favorite things to do when traveling. I like going and eating somewhere that I can't get at home. You know what I mean? Like I like trying new stuff. I like trying local favorite spots. And,
local pizza joints or sub places,
just whatever it may be. I like. Actually, it's starting to become a tradition now. Whenever me and Ziggy Dice are together in the same town, we always get Korean barbecue. So that's kind of a thing we like to do. But yeah, dude, I like just trying local places that, little mom and pop places that I don't get at home.
No, little holes in the walls,
Those are always the best, man. They're always the best places.
Yeah, it's like going to like a bar and it's like it's a hole in the wall,
Yeah.
Like there's so many of those. It's like you don't even know exist,
Yeah, it's always the little small places that you've never heard of that always have the most incredible food. And
I know, like a lucha, like I always hear about like from Joey Lucha tacos or some sort of like taco places and comic book shops and comic book food places and like Red Bag has like that. What is it? The Silent Bob. And I've never been there.
There's a place out in California that I went to. Actually, Brody King from Ring of Honor took me when I was out there. It's called Grill 'Em All.
That's what I hear. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard about
it's called Grill 'Em All. And it's like it's a wrestling and heavy metal themed burger restaurant. Mm-hmm. And like all the menu items are named after wrestlers or metal bands and stuff. Yeah. And like probably they've got just like old burger. Yeah, just old Japanese wrestling on the TVs, and then they're like blaring Judas Priest through the speakers and stuff. Like, I was like, man, I'm right at home. This is,
that's like going to Colorado. It's like going to Colorado and Primo Wrestling's right. I wish I could go there. One of these days when I'm in Denver, I'm going to go there. But like Mexican food because my mom's from out west. Like she grew up the west, which is awesome.
What part? What part?
Walsenburg. It's a small town right out of La Veta, Colorado. Actually, my granddad said if you go on Google, you can find it's called Panther High School. My grandfather was the principal of that school. And,
that's what's up.
And dude, we have land. It's called Russell Gulch, dude. Like a hippie commune area. Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Isn't that neat? Like stuff you never know exists. And they have it, I guess, in the center city. They call it center. It was a little town for gambling. How cool is that?
That's pretty sweet.
And it still stands to this day.
Definitely pretty sweet.
No, but I like hiking and all that shit. My cousin, I've done it all, man. Whitewater rafting out there. I love it. But actually, I was born in North Dakota. How did I get to Jersey? I don't know. My dad was in Vietnam and all this.
It's all part of the journey, man.
Mm-hmm. But let's call it a night. I got to get up pretty soon for work.
Sounds good to me, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime you want to come back, let's do this. I like to,
Sounds good, dude. Like I said, thank you so much for bringing me on. I really appreciate it. And, hopefully you'll be seeing more out of me here in the very near future.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to these little settings here, pop all this stuff up there. Boom.
Boom. Yeah. So anybody watching, go give me a follow on Instagram and Twitter. That's where I'm most active. Head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees, pick up a new shirt. I just dropped a Make Wrestling Violent Again shirt. That dropped that about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So go give that a look. Pick up some merch, help support a guy during these tough times.
Yeah, support a lot of wrestlers in this tough times, as we're going to be, we're just talking about Game Changer Wrestling presents 24 hours of wrestling.
Yes, please support that. There's going to be a lot of wrestlers that are
no Peace Underground you never know who else. There's so many companies, they just keep on adding and adding. It's just keep on craziness. It's on YouTube. Fans, check it out. You're going to be watching some history.
Absolutely.
But I want to say thank you, Lord Crewe, right?
Man.
You have a good night, my friend.
Yes, sir. You too. Thanks again. Take care.
Yep. Good night.
Night.
All right, fans. I want to say thank you to my guests for coming on tonight. Lord Crewe from, he's a wrestler and now stepping it up in the game of deathmatch wrestling. And you never know where he's going to be next, fans. So give him a follow and check him out. Replay him on No Peace Underground pay-per-views that just happened a couple days ago. ICW a couple weeks back. He's ready for, a challenge. Anybody who wants to step it up in the game of deathmatch wrestling, he's making challenges. He wants anybody and everybody. He's ready to show you who he is. He's Lord Crewe, and he's ready for some blood like everybody else. Fans, thank you for listening to the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast. Thank you for listening. Thursday night, this Thursday night at 8 p.m., I'm going to be talking to the one and only Everett Lee of the Everett Lee Show. Will be on a Deathmatch Wrestle podcast from Podcast City Network team and podcastcity.net. And we'll be talking to him and see what he's been up to and much, much more. As we're going to talk shenanigans and catch up on wrestling talk and much, much more, fans. Like I said, fans, make sure you log on to the internet and check out this next week at. I need to look at my calendar here because it's getting very, very full. Yes, fans, just make sure you check it out this Friday night, 8 p.m. And as I'm pushing it, Game Changer Wrestling is presenting 24-hour wrestling marathon of wrestling with a lot of good good sponsors, a lot of good wrestling promotions that are getting all together for an unbelievable night of wrestling history as Game Changer presents Fight Forever on YouTube on GameChangerWrestling.com. As long as of a Deathmatch Wrestle podcast midnight hour is going to be a part of the Jimmy Lloyd Up All Night featured. And check that out, fans, and support Game Changer Wrestling, GCW. Buy some merch from GameChangerWrestling.com. Go to www.gcwmerch.com. And also, fans, go to bootandheel.com and check out Deathmatch Wrestle. Go on there and buy some merch from any lot of wrestlers and support them. They have hoodies, t-shirts as well. And of course, check out Deathmatch Wrestle podcast and support my brand, my product of the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast, and buy a t-shirt, a hoodie, a long sleeve shirt, a face mask, any kind of apparel you need. Also on Podcast City Network, you could check out Podcast City Network's merch shop as well. We have a whole line of products as well, from Podcast City Network apparel to Deathmatch Wrestle podcast, the final scores to the Everett Lee Show, and much, much more. You can check out a lot of cool podcasts as well. You got your Urban Nerdly Weekly. We got your Final Scores. We got your pop culture. We got your movie culture. We've got this and that. We got your metal. We got many podcasts on the platform, on the lineup. And thank you, fans, for listening tonight. Have a good night. Till next time, let's talk wrestling. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast.
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: DeathmatchRussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at PodcastCity.net, Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share, and on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.
Hey, wrestling fans, check out BootandHeel.com for all your independent wrestlers, apparel, and more. Also, check out Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast as well. www.bootandheel.com.